What up, B Squad? It is your boy JB, and we are here today, you guys, with a brand new review for Abbott Elementary Season 4 episode for you guys. This episode, it was titled Costume Contest. This was a good episode, you guys. I laughed throughout this episode. But before we do get into it, if you guys are watching this video or any other video on the channel, and you guys aren't subscribed yet, then I need you guys to do me a solid favor and stop taking me out on this date and then having me pay for it at the end of it. You guys know the routine. You can do me that favor by liking the video, subscribing to the channel, turning on your post notifications, sharing the video, you guys. And with that out of the way, without further ado, let's go ahead and discuss out Abbott Elementary, shall we? All right, you guys. So the episode opens and we see Janine's class, right? The kids are coming in their Halloween costumes. One little girl came dressed as Ice Spice, and Janine was like, I need you to change that. So she has a box of other costumes, just in case the kids came as something that was not, school appropriate, right? And I was thinking to myself, so a parent actually let their daughter dress as Ice Spice? If I had a young kid, I don't think I would let my child dress as no damn Ice Spice, but that's just me. So then another kid came dressed as Jigsaw from Saw. And she was like, oh, that's scary. You change it too. Then somebody came as the Black Panther. And she was like, okay, Wakanda forever. Until the kid lifted the little mask up and it was a sole white kid in the class. And she was like, you know what? Let's keep the mask down and let's just be Wakanda for today. I laughed. So then we move over to Barbara. So Barbara's students, they're getting dropped off, and one of the parents asked Barbara, like, so what do you have planned for today? And Barbara let her know, like, hey, we're going to do this. We're going to buy for apples. We're going to do X, Y, Z. And the mom was like, how about we don't buy for apples? And Barbara was like, that's a tradition that her class has done, since she's been teaching. Well, Barbara, it's so, hear me out, Barbara. Love you down. Baby, when Barbara called herself a trick, and when she called herself a trick, she said that, they have the treats and she's the number one trick. I was like, Barbara, did you care what you just, and she called it right when she said it. But Barbara, bobbing for apples, I ain't never been somebody that was ever interested in bobbing for apples because to me, it's just nasty. And let me explain to you guys why I think it's nasty bobbing for apples. So you put apples in some water, right? You dunking your whole entire face in it. So your nose, so whatever's in your nose, your mouth, saliva, all that kind of stuff is coming out. And there's multiple people. Girl, absolutely the hell not. It would never happen for me. It would never be me. If y'all want to buy for apples, go ahead and buy for apples. But as far as I'm concerned, I would never buy for apples. Ain't never been there for me. I've never done apple. I've never done it. Never. Never. So then we move over to the teacher's lounge, right? So we see as Melissa is dressed as Sweet Cheeks, Barbara, I think she was dressed as a honeybee. I think that's what Barbara was. I feel like Barbara wore the same outfit before. I think Barbara wore the same costume last year. Barbara just wears this. I'm almost positive Barbara wore this last year. I think Barbara wore this last year for Halloween, if I'm not mistaken. And I could be wrong. But I know that Barbara don't. Oh no, she's a bee, but she sticks with the tradition of being a bee because Barbara she was a bee 2 years ago. Okay, so Melissa, like I said, is Sweet Cheeks. Ava is who is Ava? Ava was Blade. Then Mr. Johnson, he was, even me and Jake were confused. It was like, Mr. Johnson, what the hell are you? So Mr. Johnson is going as a emo Jimmy Butler. I was like, okay. You guys, I skipped all over Janine and Gregory. Janine and Gregory. I had no idea what the hell Janine and Gregory were because I actually put it in my notes. Literally, it says Janine and Gregory. I have no idea what they corny asses were doing because they are so corny, and I did not know what they were. Jacob is Pat Sajak, and oh my God, my heart kind of sank because they were talking about Pat Sajak's politics. But Jacob was like, yeah, he hadn't been on Elon Musk Elon Musk social media to know. So, y'all, please let me know in the comment section. But I think I figured it. I think I found it out the hard way because I was Googling before I came on here. Yeah, please tell me Pat Sajak is not a MAGA person. Oh my God, because I grew up on Wheel of Fortune. Oh my God, that would tear up my childhood if that man is MAGA. My God, I grew up on Wheel of Fortune. I learned the alphabet from Wheel of Fortune. I learned my letters from Wheel of Fortune, you guys. I learned my letters from Wheel of Fortune. I grew up with that show. Like, my grandmother and my mama used to religiously watch Wheel of Fortune. I did too. Even when I moved on my own in my first apartment, I still watched Wheel of Fortune. I even still watch I watch Celebrity Wheel of Fortune. So to know me is to know I'm a game show boy. Like, I love game shows. So that's number one. During the summer, I'm seated on that couch watching my game shows, right? To tell the truth, they probably canceled. Did they cancel? Yeah, they did cancel it because of him. Because they had brought the match game back, right? And I was watching the match game. Oh, Jesus be offense. So Janine and Gregory tell us that they are from Jurassic Park, and I was like, say what now? Run that back. So Eddie Gregory is DNA man or something like that, and Janine is the mosquito that was trapped in amber or something like that. I was like, huh? Now let me say, I'm not gonna sit here and say I've watched Jurassic Park, definitely have, but I wasn't somebody who was like huge into Jurassic Park, so I can't tell you guys everything from Jurassic Park. But I was a big fan of. I did watch the movie as a kid. Absolutely watched Jurassic Park, right? But I was like, huh? Okay. But damn, Ava got what they were when they switched because Janine was on one side at one point and Greg was on the side. They said we need to flip, so they flipped and she got it. I was like, oh, okay, I guess. But they telling them how the shit sucks. They head ass. Jacob tried to explain to them what head ass was. They were like, we don't need to explain to us what head ass is, Jacob. We know what it is, right? So we see as Barbara is in the teacher's lounge, right? Because she's in her feelings about not being able to do the bobbing for apples as well as give out cupcakes, right? And so Ms. Inez was in there. She was like, well, and Janine even said at one point, like, when did you start coming into the teacher's lounge? She didn't answer, but this is when they were telling her they were head ass. But Ava was telling Barbara, like, you got a whole hour to fill when it comes to this whole this whole thing in the library. So figure something out, right? So we see as things at the library are not going well because Barbara and Ms. Inez are reading to the kids and they were like, is that supposed to be scary? I was like, oh, the kids ain't even scared. That's sad. So then Mr. Johnson was finna tell him a story and Barbara was like, oh, no, because she was going to let him tell the story, but then he started it and she was like, oh, Mr. Johnson, we're good. So then there was a little boy who asked Janine and Gregory what they were supposed to be. And they were like, we're from Jurassic Park. And the kid had the same thoughts that I had. the kid was like, wouldn't it have been easier for y'all to just dress up as dinosaurs? I was like, thank you. So then Gregory had me dying laughing when Gregory told Janine, he was like, don't let that kid mess with shake your confidence. He's like, have you saw his drawings? They're ass. She's like, yeah, you know, but they are ass because he draws and he colors outside the lines. I was like, not y'all talking about the little boy's drawings in front of him, telling him his drawings are ass. Telling this little boy that his drawings are ass. It was hilarious to me, right? So Barbara was like, you know what? F them parents. You know, we gonna lie to the parents today. I was like, ooh, is that the Christian thing to do, Barbara? Because I mean, you don't call yourself a trick. You done told Janina and Gregory that they had asses, and now we gonna lie to the parents. So the kids, so she was like, we gonna bob for apples, and the kids was like, yeah, our parents said that we can't do that. And Barbara's like, well, we're just gonna tell them a story today. Then the little girl's like, I was just saying that because I didn't really want to say that I didn't want to do this. And I was like, exactly. Love you, Barbara, but bobbing for apples? It's not. So Barbara decided to show them how fun it was to bob for apples and bob for apples. And it was like, ugh. Again, that's why I said I don't do bobbing for apples, because if you don't get the apple on the first try, then you dunk your head and your whole face back into the water. And Barbara has on makeup, so now that water is getting muddy with makeup. It's like everything that's on your face, like the dirt and all that, the dirt from the day. And I didn't even think about the dirt. The dirt from, the dirt, the whatever's in your, anything that's in your nose. If you got facial hair, saliva, if you got food in your teeth, the more I talk about it, it's nasty. Yeah. Let's stop talking about that. So then so there's a contest at the school, and then there's a contest at the bar that they go to, right? So we get to the contest in the school, and so the first two people, it's a couples thing, right? So it was Janine and Gregory. It's two students, and Melissa. And I was like, well, we know who Melissa's dressed as, right? Melissa's dressed as Sweet Cheeks. So then Melissa has Sweet Cheeks with her, dressed as her. And who do you guys think won this contest? Melissa and Sweet Cheeks won. I was like, I know you lying to me that Melissa and Sweet Cheeks won, but they won, right? So then there was another contest for the teachers that are annoying, and Jacob is in part of that crew. And then somebody was like, Mr. Hill, who are you supposed to be? And he was telling them Pat Sajak, and they were like, who? I was like, ooh, these kids don't know nothing about Wheel of Fortune. The shame. But the shame that I just thought about with Pat Sajak too. And so Barbara trying to get the kids hyped, trying to know who Pat Sajak is. I was like, Barbara, I don't necessarily know if these kids know who Pat is, right? I don't necessarily know that the kids know who Pat is. And so Barbara's just trying to hype them kids up to know who Pat, because she told Jacob, go back out and come back in and do it again. I was like, Barbara, it's okay. We cool. Calm down, Barbara. Everything is gonna be fine. So Jacob did it, and she just told him clap. And Melissa's like, we can go get a drink after this, right? She's like, I don't need a drink. And then she said, maybe I do need a drink afterwards. I was like, yeah, Barbara, you do need a drink. So after that, we get over to the bar, and we see, as everybody's there, Barbara, Melissa. Barbara is just still upset about the whole taking away traditions, right? So Melissa suggested that they start a new tradition, right? So we see them as they took some shots out of what are those things called? I can't think what they're called, but test tubes, right? I think those were test tubes. So they took some shots. There was a girl there, and Melissa was ragging on her, talking about, you dressed as a nurse. That's boring. And Barbara's like, I think she's a real nurse. And the girl gave her the middle finger. Then we see as Gregory and Janine have changed their outfits, right? So now they're going as PB and J. I was like, that's still boring, but at least we know what you are. Until they saw a couple who, the guy was dressed like Ash Ketchum, and the girl was dressed like Wednesday from Wednesday Addams, right? And they were like, Ash Wednesday. I was like, I would have never got that. I would have never got that. I mean, I knew who they were, but I never would have put together Ash Wednesday. I guess it's cute. So they decided that they want to go back to their other outfits. I was like, are you sure about that? So they decided to go back to their other outfits, and they went on the stage, and the announcer had no idea who they were. But then the announcer also didn't know who the hell Ava was, calling her Grace Jones with the sword. I was like, I know you fucking lying. That is Blade, motherfucker. Ain't no way. So ultimately, Ava ended up winning the contest, right? And Barbara went home. And good episode, you guys. Really good episode. If I left anything out that you guys want to discuss in the episode, feel free to drop it down in the comments section below, you guys. Subscribe to the channel, turn on your post notifications, share the video, you guys. And until the next time, stay safe. Take care of yourselves. Wash your hands. Be blessed. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye, guys.